This was a really challenging year, obviously, for the city and for the city's government. You know, Keeping the community healthy, trying to save as many lives as possible while keeping our city operations running was often paradoxical. We had to keep our own staff safe, we had to close down a lot of programs, we had to furlough a lot of staff, and our budget took an enormous hit because of COVID. So you might know, city government runs about a third of our operations funded through sales tax. And when the sales tax revenues all dried up because people weren't shopping or spending or dining out, it caused real financial troubles for us. So we've been reeling for a year, trying to save money, trying to keep our workforce healthy, trying to promote safe social distancing and masking behaviors, and assist with vaccine distribution. And in many respects, we were as successful as a community could be. We've come out on the other side of this. Our finances are now in better shape than they've looked, frankly, in years. We had a lower infection rate for most of the pandemic than most other cities in the country, in the world. And we had less of our population pass away, although tragically we had about 36 people die from COVID here in our county. What that means, though, is that we are not just coming back into normal. We are trying to rebound, right? We've been on the rocks, but we're trying to rebound to a community that's better than it was in 2019. Right? How do we do that? First, the biggest problem we've got is the same as it was, which is that the cost of housing is too high, right? The rent is too high. The second problem we have is the urgent need for a Green New Deal, because climate change, this is going to likely be the hottest year on record, which would mean it would beat last year's record, which beat the year before that's record. Which also tells us we should brace for the possibility that this is actually going to be the coldest year for the rest of our lives. Right? So what does that mean for the infrastructure we've got to build in our city, the water mains, the sewer mains, the flood control channel? All of those things, plus how do we make sure that everybody who wants it has gainful employment? Those three challenges, right? Lowering the cost of housing, creating a Green New Deal, and making sure that the economy is working for everybody are our big challenges. And affordable housing, we've got to build more subsidized housing. We've also got to enforce the rules for the existing landlords, because too many of their standards are too low and they're not up to code, but they're charging too much money. And we should be forcing landlords to compete by having more homes and more apartments for people to choose between. You're going to see a lot of growth, particularly on the west end and the waterfront in this level. Some of it's market rate, a lot of it's affordable housing. Vecino's Art House project is being completed right now. We actually just moved forward the Carpenter Circle project, which is going to have a fair amount of affordable housing in it as well. Right now, as we're speaking, the Green Street garage is being demolished to make way for a new garage. It's going to be 3 levels of parking, but also a convention center on the ground floor and 5 stories of affordable housing. It's actually going to be the largest affordable housing project in the city since, I don't even know when, Titus Towers, maybe 40, 50 years ago. Right next door to City Hall, right downtown in the heart of the community on the bus stop. So there's a lot of projects like that you'll see. We're also pursuing our Green New Deal, which means we want to be completely carbon neutral by 2030. That means switching over to electric vehicles, obviously, but it also means electrifying every building in the city of Ithaca, right? Moving it onto the electrical grid and then greening that electric grid, making sure that we're providing power from non-carbon emitting sources. We can do all of that work. That's the green part. What's the New Deal part? All of that work's going to take thousands of people to electrify the homes, to retrofit the homes, to build new charging stations, to help build the green solar, wind, energy sources that we need, making sure that those jobs go to the people who have traditionally been locked out of economic opportunity, both here in Ithaca and in America, is how we get to the New Deal part and satisfy that third leg of the tripod. It's affordable housing, a Green New Deal, and an economy that works for all.